Okay, welcome everyone. This is Julie from Pennsylvania with LifeVantage, and we're super excited to have you all on here tonight. We have a great guest tonight, so thank you all for just taking the time out of your schedules to join us, and just appreciate your commitment to joining us on Monday nights for these team trainings. And tonight, I am really, really excited to have Kai Hayes. She's become a dear LifeVantage friend to me over the years. I remember, Kai, remember when we were on the stage back to back?
That's the greatest thing I can remember. Yes, back to back in Kansas in 2015, was it? When we were Pro Sevens?
Yeah, something like that. And I just remember us both being a little bit nervous and kind of sharing in that together. But anyway, you're just a true inspiration, Kai. And Kai is a on fire servant leader. She has a great, great story. It's pretty long, so I'm not going to share all of it because I want to turn the time over to her. But she came from poverty, and she really wanted to create a lifestyle. So she did. She was a corporate executive, a business owner, a business banker. However, she grew frustrated because she wasn't paid what she thought she was worth. And then as a business owner, she achieved financial success, but then lack of time freedom really became a problem. So she looked for a better way. She was looking for some residual income, which we all love. And so she went into network marketing, and like me and like all of us, she fell in love with network marketing. And after 8 years, she became a Pro 8. So Kai, with that, I'm going to turn the time over to you. Thank you again so much. We're just honored to have you on here. We just appreciate you so much.
Likewise, likewise. Thank you, Julie. And good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity to join you and your team tonight. It is such a privilege to be invited as your guest speaker. So I hope that I will be able to inspire you all, guys, and give you some golden nuggets that you can take away for tonight. So yes, and Julie, yes, I remember you and me at the backstage, or we were both actually very, very nervous, right? That was a few years back, and ever since, Julie and I became great friends, you know. And then of course, you are all fortunate to be a part of Julie's team, as she's one great servant leader herself. So the fact that she personally requested me to share my thoughts and train you about the power of building this power leg in your organization proves that she cares about you and all your successes. So let me go back a little bit to fill you in just about myself. If for those of you who don't really know me yet, Julie mentioned to me earlier that I did build a Pro 8 business in the last 8 years and going 9 year this year. But to be quite honest, it was a tough journey for me and my husband, Greg. There were surely many, many, many numerous barriers along the way that you yourselves are going to experience, whether you like it or not. So you got to buckle up right now and allow me to take you to the tough journey that I had. But before that, let me give you a little bit of my background. Of course, coming from the Philippines originally, and lived a life of poverty, but I took the responsibility of taking care of my two parents and two grandparents. And you know, also I became a single mom only after being married for about 3 years. And it was great because I was blessed and I was fortunate enough to have my one and only son. His name is Nico, and he became my inspiration to break the chain of poverty in the family. So everybody needs to have an inspiration, right? So it was a gift for me. And you know, fast forward, yes, I became a very successful corporate executive, and later on owned my own international telecommunications company, where I actually grew channels of distributions across Asia. And but time was really difficult for me because it entails a lot of traveling. So when I actually got settled again for the second time, my son and I migrated here in the US, and that's where I became a successful business banker. But still searching on for a better way, because I couldn't see myself working and going back to work again, being an employee, because it's just not my cup of tea. You know, when you started owning and running your own business, you always wanted to be in charge. You wanted to be in control. And when this network marketing came into my life, I was like so shocked. It's like, how could I missed, you know, all these years not being a network marketer? But I believe that God has a plan for me, for plan for our lives. And you know, I stumbled into the network marketing company, or you know, chance or industry at the very right timing. Everything is timing, whether in life or in business. Timing is really important. So here I am right now speaking in front of you as your Elite Pro 8 leader. So it is very, very rewarding, even though this is a tough journey. And I can assure you that Julie and Mark and all of the elites that are listening right now in this Zoom call, I surely hope that they would attest to all of you guys that it is not easy. So let me inspire you, because even though it's not easy, it is very rewarding and it's very meaningful, especially to me and my family. But in all simplicity and and effectiveness, if you guys can just commit yourself within 2 to 5 years journey, I believe that building, creating the momentum in your LifeVantage business will be very, very fruitful. And the key to this is there's really no sort of like special ingredient, but you just need to really know what duplication means, because network marketing is just about duplication. You know, that's the reason why we tell you, we've been teaching you over and over, and yet sadly many people continue to reinvent the wheel. And that's why I'm here to remind you over and over that, I'll be honest, you will fail if you choose to do that. So let's talk about how to build your power legs. Okay, this is the essence of your of being an elite status, because if you don't create a power legs, then definitely you're going to be striving so hard to become an elite, right? But here's a simple formula. It's the system, you guys. So, and the system tells us over and over that we got to have 15 or more exposures, okay, a month. And we have got to be committed. And if we don't know how to do that, how to execute those exposures, you ought to get back to your sponsors or to your uplines, proactive, basically proactive distributors who can actually guide you through on how to execute these exposures. It's very, very simple. The invite is your story. And so that you just have to have a simple story. You know, the 4 parts of the story is, it's about yourself. It's about your personal life, your career background, and then followed by your you know, what you want to change in your life. If there's nothing you want to change, then you know, we're not going to go through this. But obviously 99% of people probably wants to make a change in their life, especially in this economy. So you have to include that, and then how you found LifeVantage, and then after that, why is the future kind of like seems to be looking brighter and exciting for you, because you're excited about what you have found, right? And so that is actually, if you can just master that, that is your self-invite. That is the invitation, because people will then be excited. So what are you doing? So what is it? They would like to hear more about it because you seem to be very excited. So that's the invite. The invite is actually like less than 60 seconds. You know, sometimes we mistakenly, you know, sort of like switch the invite between the presentation. We tend to present like premature presentation. Actually, it's good to present the whole thing, but if you do it prematurely, you know, you kind of like open a can of worm. You know, you started talking about the products, the name of the product, and then all of a sudden your prospect would think that they have seen everything, and they would just make a decision out of that story, you know, out of that premature invitation. So I would like you to know that to avoid that, okay, just stick to the invite without saying anything. It's invite is basically just allowing you to create curiosity, and it is how we acquire you know, their curiosity, and how we can make the prospects kind of like say yes to us. Say yes to sign up. No, I don't think so. Say yes to saying like, hey, I wanted to know more about what you're doing. I'm so excited to hear about what you have got to share to me. So that is all, you guys, you know, the 15 exposures or more. And also, without the system, the complete system, which is about the attending the events, you know, you guys, in the beginning, I was thinking, why should we be attending all the events? But you know what? I just have to follow. I'm such a good student, or you know, actually, you must be an excellent student in order for you to become a great leader, you know, in the process. But I just follow. I just trust the system, because it is a different ball game. Network marketing is something that I didn't do before. So who am I to change the system, right? Who am I to reinvent the wheel? So I'd say, if I really wanted to find out whether it's going to work for me, and I really want to find out the results, I just have to follow the system, right? And so one of the um, uh, main ingredients of the system is attending events. And you guys, you might be thinking that, you know, the events are sometimes redundant, and you know, it seems like repetitive. Yes, it is repetitive, because we are just learning the basic principle, the right principles and behavior, and there's nothing to learn. But we need to do it repeatedly, because it's got to stick in our mind, and it's, we have to put everything into action, you know, the way we learn. And so that's the reason why we're keep on telling you guys that this is a 2 to 5 year journey. You can't quit early on, you know. um, and if you opt to follow this system and to commit to it 100%, I guarantee all of you that everybody will be reaching the elite status and create those power legs in your organization. Well, the truth of the matter is that, unfortunately, most people quit and become casualties, because they even get to, before they even get to establish their power legs, you know, they opted out, duplicating the process, and they haven't even built their belief yet. You know, they haven't become bulletproof yet, but they will quit, you know, probably in a 6 months period. And if you ask them how many people have they talked to, they would probably say about 10, 12. And how many months have you been doing this? About 6 months. And how many events have you attended? And they would say probably one or two. So there you go. You can identify definitely why there's many casualties, not only in LifeVantage, but in many network marketing companies, right? Because they don't fully understand the importance of training, the importance of mastering the skills, or even in the beginning, you just have to learn the skills, and ultimately kind of like, you know, moving towards mastering your skills, right? And I also understand that many of you might think, okay, it's easy to say that, but there's a lot of obstacles in front of us. There's a lot of things, you know, uncertainties, and, you know, life happens. And I surely um, understand that, you know, there are a lot of barriers along the journey that would definitely stop you from doing so. But it's up to you. You make a choice. It's a decision for you to make. It's going to be tough, like I said from the very get-go. It's not as if I didn't experience the same thing as what you experience. You know, we elites up here have experienced probably a lot of obstacles in life, and but I just made a decision to really master my skills, so that I would become the leader that I want to be for my team. And yeah, quitting is the easiest to do, but I'm not a quitter, and so are you. So, and if many of you recalled last speech at the convention in South Carolina, I actually discussed about breaking through barriers, because it's actually all the obstacles in our lives, and in personal lives, and all along the LifeVantage journey. It's actually, those are the things that you're going to become more bulletproof, and it's going to make you stronger for when other obstacles come in. You're just going to kick it out, you know. And you'll realize that if you are patient enough with yourself, patient enough with your business, because your business is going to be up and down. It's a roller coaster ride. Sometimes you'll have a big volume. Sometimes, you know, your volume just kind of like, starts to shutter down. And that's exactly why you need to nurture your business, because until you have a solid power leg in your organization. So frustrations, obstacles, rejections, and all that, we have experienced everything. But for you guys, it's just like, we've got to tell you this over and over so that you will understand that you're not alone. You're not alone in experiencing all this turbulence in our lives. But that's the reason why we need to grow our LifeVantage business, so that we are prepared for when turbulence in our lives, happens. At least we have a solid, financial, status, right? So that we're not so much, emotions are of course a different thing, but financial status would probably be a good one for us, because we don't have to worry about where we're going to get those money if we need to, right? And so I believe that it's much, much, much worth it. Okay, so now allow me to share with you how to build a 5x5 metrics, which I actually built in the last 8 years, and why it is so rewarding. Okay, and understanding this would probably allow you guys to now be patient with your business, right? Because it's not gonna be overnight. So let me share this with you. Click on share. 5x5 metrics. Where is that? There you go. Share. And you will see the beauty of how can you see that? Okay, this is because also I just wanted to let you know that I am one of those leaders in Building Depth program, which is actually they just had it in St. George, Utah. And we are teaching people the right principles and behaviors, but we are also teaching people on how to focus on their 5x5 metrics. But in this scenario, you are going to actually be looking at 3 legs for now. I have more than 3 legs, but I'm just highlighting with you right now the 3 powerful legs that I built all throughout the years that I've been building the LifeVantage. So can you imagine on this, it says we're Pro 5, who is my first level. Linda is my, my direct sponsor. But I found Linda after 2.5 years. Can you imagine that? The patience that I've gone through building this business. Have I quit? a year after, I got involved in LifeVantage, do you think I would be able to find Linda in my organization? Well, I kept on inviting, I kept on presenting. So I kept on enrolling you guys. 2 years and 1 month, I kept on inviting. And finally, I found Linda. Why is Linda significant in my organization? Because after 4 months, on my third level, 4 months, Linda found Deb. And Deb found Kim Kubansky, who is my Pro 8. And Kim Kubansky is actually on my 15th level. Can you believe that? This is showing you how powerful it is to be patient with your organization and to just kind of like keep on sorting and sifting until you find the right person. And when you do, you connect with them and you'll do everything to support them and connect with them so that the power leg can continue to build. And Kim, therefore, signed up his husband, who is my 16th level. Can you imagine that? Sometimes, we get frustrated because we think that we will find our power leg with our first level. Not every enrollees that we have is going to bring us good business. You might find them somewhere deep down the level. So like I said, it's really amazing. And by showing you this, I believe now you will enlighten yourselves that, hey, I've got a chance to build my elite status, because you know what? It's just a matter of being patient and digging deep in, underneath those different levels. It will come, you guys. And it's not necessarily your direct enrollees. It will be coming from someone down below. And then Brody, of course, found Jill, who is his Pro 5, and that's on my 17th level, and jumped on Kathy. And Kathy, Brody met Kathy after a year. Again, if all these people in this leg was not patient enough to stay put, to kind of like, wait for that 2 to 5 year journey, then all of this is not going to happen. So this is like Pro 5 18th level deep, and then Melanie after 4 months became, also a Pro 5 on the 19th level, and then goes Brody has a second leg, which became Pro 5 after a year, then down to the 17th level. Again, look at the levels that I have. Corey, Pro 5, 18th level. Ray, Pro 5, 18th level, which is Ray is from Canada. And we found all these people from different places and different territories as well. This is powerful, you guys. And then all of a sudden, this is still the same leg, Pro 7. Kim has a second leg that became Pro 7 because she met Linda after 1.5 years, yeah, and then became a Pro 6. And that's all on my down to the 20th level up to Marvin. Can you see that growth? And then on to the second leg of mine. Well, Lydia is a good friend of mine from New York, but Lydia didn't do anything. He's also my direct enrollee. But guess what? She has a friend from Maui. So, after 2 months, she enrolled Lily. And then Maui, I built my Pro 5 business for 7 months only with Maui. And she is on my 3rd level, thank God. And then that goes down to Merle. After she met Merle, after a month, she signed up, and Merle became a Pro 6 on the 5th level. And then down to Jen, which is from Las Vegas, and then she became a Pro 5. You see the power of building the depth in organization. It's about the depth, We are doing this, why? Because we wanted to build depth in our organization. It's just a term, building depth. But I happen to be also a part of this organization, which is so powerfully made. So, and then I happened to find Ivy after Jan, found Ivy 4 years later. Can you imagine that? And Ivy is now my Pro 4 on my 14th level. Now, again, another 3rd leg right now is my BC2. My BC2 is currently a Pro 5 after 3 years. And then I found Ruthie from Austin after 4 years, and she became my Pro 5 and my 2nd level. And then Sylvia, I found another rock star here. She's actually, I think, reaching Pro 5 by end of this month on the 4th level. And then found Robert from Laredo. My Laredo is booming right now. And he's now a Pro 4 on the 5th level. And Ozzy is the one that's actually going to be the rock star right now. He's actually going Pro 5 in the very next few months. Hopefully he will become Pro 5 and be recognized in Kansas. But we created a lot of pace setters and pace setter pro this last month, so I'm really good about that. And I have some other legs as well that added to Pro 3, Pro 2s that adds up to my volume. So if you come to think of it, now I want you to know that I want you to spread wide. I want you to have 5 legs across, and then and then add another 5 later on. But you work on the first 5, and then try to build your 5x5 matrix, and work on the people who truly wants to build the business. Do not go pushing people because you can't push a rope. For me, I identify at my back office. Thank God for our back office, because we just need to identify the potentials back there. And so I call them up, I introduce myself, and then, support them. And now that's the reason why I travel a lot in my organization. I'm going to Ohio this month. I'm going to Maui again, in July, and I'm going to Belgium in September, and so on and so forth. Because, you take good care of all your people, even though they're not in your level, not in your level, even though they're not in your first level, they are still gold mine in your organization. You'll never know who really would work on this particular building legs that you have. So and I would be actually entertaining questions from you guys if you have any questions. But the thing that I want to instill in your mind, that you've got to be patient. You've got to really know that this is a 2 to 5 year engagement, and learn the basic principles and behaviors from the get-go, and connect with your proactive distributor or upline, because those are the people that who you're going to work with, not the ones that you're going to push. And just spend time with people who deserves your time. Okay, so I'm going to get you back to Julie so that we can answer some questions, because I'm sure you have a lot of questions in this 5x5 building depth.
Thank you, Kai. That was really interesting. Thank you so much. A lot of great information. And so if somebody has a question, if they could type it in the chat box, that would be great. And actually, Mark, I was just looking to you and thinking maybe you'd like to jump on here and help out with the questions.
Absolutely. I've got one because you just teed it up. Kai, you said something very important, and I want to reiterate and go back to it. Otherwise, it might just sneak by without folks having heard it. You said for those who deserve your time. How do you identify those people that deserve your time?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked that, because I observe certain behaviors in my distributors, whether they're in my direct line or my direct enrollees or not. I monitor their activities. Hold on. And for that matter, I check my back office, who goes to the elite academies, and then I make a record of all those people who are consistently attending elite academies and LV academies, and who I see in the Zoom training calls. And so I don't wait for them to contact me. I actually reach out to them, and so I offer my help, and we work together and strategize. Those are the people that I would like to, because they have invested not only their time away from their families, they invested their time and money, and they are truly exhibiting interest and commitment in wanting to have results in their business, wanting to rank advance. So I would get in touch with them as a leader, and I would offer my help to them. And in fact, I have established about 12 generals that I'm working with right now, because it was truly before I made a mistake. I thought that all my direct lines needed, to get my time. But little did I know that it was a wrong move, because none of your direct enrollees are going to really go to work. So there are some people waiting under your organizations that are waiting for your mentorship, your guidance. And some of them are just lost as the others, because they have lost their sponsors, just like I did. I lost my sponsor early on when I was a Pro 3 and he was a Pro 4. And by then I was just kind of like a blind, walking blindfolded. But, I had to do what I had to do and connect with the right people so that I would be able to become a great leader. And one of the main thing that they actually told me, Mark, is, you just have to invest your time where it's most appropriate. The ones who deserve it, and people who are the ones that are running with you, are following your lead and trusting you, and just doing what you're telling them to do.
Yeah, I remember Marcel saying something very early on when we got going, that he would do his part if we did our part. And I think that's significant, that you're creating the expectation that there is a mutual sense of responsibility. And so, and I'm sure you've seen this, the people that are waiting for you to do everything, waiting for you to hold their hand, and waiting for you to, tell them when the call is going to be, when the meeting is going to be, and calling you when they're on the way to your presentation, asking you where that presentation is when it's on Big Blue Calendar. Those are probably not the people that are taking ownership. So all that to say, yeah.
Absolutely. You made a great point there. Constantly kind of like, you're becoming like the secretary like you're doing it for them and they don't take the responsibility. It's time to really create that leadership, as many leaders as you can in your team, because if you don't, you're going to end up being the secretary of all your team.
Yeah.
And it's not going to grow. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you just tell them right straight up front, you take a step, and I'll take 2 steps. You take 3 steps, I'll take 5 steps, but you don't step, I won't step.
Yeah.
You just have to let them hear what they need to hear and what they want to hear, right?
Yeah. One of my favorite
Exactly.
is from a guy named Myron Golden, who says, you can't do God's part, and he's definitely not going to do your part. It kind of works the same way. Your upline can't do it. Can't do the work for us. Our upline can't do the work for us. But, we certainly are willing to work with anybody who's willing to work. So I appreciate that part of tonight, Sky. I've got a couple other questions that are coming in. Felita asks, how does technology play a role in your particular business?
Technology, oh my goodness, I think I'm the I'm the wrong person to ask, because I just did I developed my Pro 8 business traditionally. I am not a social media person. I am not a high techy person. So I believe that anybody can build this business traditionally by just the traditional eye to eye, knee to knee, belly to belly, just just following the system. But if you can actually, because there's a lot of tools that we have right now, like the social media, the Facebook and others, where I believe that others are very, very successful, please do so. If you are very, very keen on doing that and you're very well versed in social media, please, it might enhance your business, because if you can do that, if I can only do that, I will. But the thing is, if I'm just going to learn, spending time to learn how to do that, I believe I'm taking away, the time for me to build a business, just learning the social media, because it's going to be tough for me. But although I am not against it, I'm actually slowly but surely adapting to it, like the Facebook, I'm still very, very scared doing the live, but you know what? I have to do what it takes for me to be a part of the social media. But right now, I'm still so aggressive in doing traditional business, in growing my business, doing traditional way, because this is it. You can do this traditionally, 100%. But I don't think, this is just my opinion, I don't think people can do this 100% by social media alone. I think social media and other technical aspects of it are just tools that can enhance our business, that can help grow our business. But for me, if you can do this traditionally and just spend time and, willing to sacrifice, we can all do this, we can all do this. But that's an interesting question, Mark. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I'll piggyback off those comments and just repeat something that Darren said there in St. George at Building Depth this past week. Chris and I weren't able to come. We actually got our dates wrong. But something fascinating, an observation that Darren made about the industry retention rates. Average retention for companies throughout this industry, this profession, network marketing, averages around 23% month over month. And Darren said he was in a conversation with a third-party IT guy, just kind of casually remarking on that fact, and that some companies are higher than that. I can't imagine. And the remarkable thing was that Darren had this statistic in his pocket that LifeVantage averages around 5% month over month, which is the lowest by comparison, probably anybody in the industry. And I think if I were to speculate on why it's so very low in LifeVantage, it's because of our culture and because of the thing you just mentioned. We didn't know any better. We didn't have the social media tools, and the sense of connection we have as a family is so profound because we are we're a very personable and personal company. We most of us built this kneecap to kneecap, face to face, and even now those of us that are building using these tools of social media are doing that in a very personal way. So I agree. I don't think you have to have any kind of mastery over social media.
Right.
It's going to be a skill set that is helpful, but the principles that you've talked about are the things that are transcendent, right?
Yeah. And I agree with you 100% because our culture, can you imagine? LifeVantage is just about love and care, and it's truly personalized. You know, we wanted this to be personalized because we care about the people. You know, we are different. We set ourselves apart from other network marketing out there. That's just like probably like a hotcake, like just in social media, like enrolling without even knowing the person, you know, personally, because it's just in the social media. But we are actually touching people's lives, you know,
Yep.
changing the world. So I believe that we will be very, very, you know, very successful in doing this traditionally. I still believe that, you know, traditional process, traditional system will still, you know, will still pan out for LifeVantage because that's who we are.
Yeah.
That's who we are.
I totally agree. And I think the reason we've attracted truly remarkable people is that they know we're remarkable. And we're looking for more remarkable people by being remarkable. And I think
being remarkable. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. One more question, and we're over time, so I'll throw this to you. Kai, how do you keep track of all the moving parts, all the activity in your business? How do you identify these leaders? I mean, we've talked a little bit about that, but how do you keep track of everything?
Wow. I think I just learned how to multitask. I keep track of everything because I always keep a record, number one, and I look at the back office, and then I keep a track record of all my leaders, potential leaders, and the sprouting new leaders as we generate new businesses or new enrollment. And I just communicate with my leaders, and then I have a different meetings with them, separate meetings. And so because there are three phases, Mark, everyone, there are three phases, because I have a separate meeting with the new people, with the new kids on the block, and then I have a different meeting for the people that have just gone past through 90 days, where they start to kind of like really know the importance of the events, and kind of like, you know, learning from the constant Zoom meetings and trainings, and attended the elite academies and all that. And then the last part is, of course, that has already achieved like Pro 6, Pro 5, 6, 7 status. They are more independent because there are three phases. You know, the other one is phase 1 would be newbies. Of course, they need to learn the basic principles, right? And so it's just invite. We're just focusing. The newbies are we're just focusing on invite, and, you know, telling their stories, and then, you know, we're presenting to them. You know, it's just invite, present, invite, present. But they are not the one presenting. We are the ones presenting until that 90 days lapse. And then the second phase is that for those people who already captured like a couple of distributors, like you know, they have already enrolled like 3 to 5 distributors and all that, we're training this second phase to become a presenter. It's not going to be that polished, but you know what? We're already launching their businesses. Okay, launch. We're scheduling every weekend. Every weekend I assign different launches, and then, you know, and then they will have to present. I will be there, but I'm not going to present. They will be the one presenting for their team, because the newbies are going to invite prospects and everything. So they will be the one, you're responsible for that. So because invite, that's the phase 1, invite and present. And then the second phase would be they become presenters, whether they like it or not. And then the third would be, as soon as they become presenters, then they're going to aim for being an elite. That's why they're going to teach and train. They're going to learn. I'm going to teach them how to learn, how to teach and train. So the first one, I'm going to teach them how to invite and present. The other one, the second phase would be to stand up in front of the room and become a presenter for group, you know, home meetings and all that. And then the third phase would be, hey, you know, I will teach you how to teach and train your newbies, so that you don't have to spend so much time presenting. The more presenters we have, the better we can expand. Yeah. So
outstanding. And I'll just want to reiterate that, because I think it's so significant, it's easy to miss. So in case somebody was checking your phone or something distracted you during the last 2 minutes, what Kai just said, what I heard her say was there's 3 main phases that she's trying to lead people through. One is learning to invite, such a critical skill, and you never stop inviting. Phase number 2 is you're helping people have the courage to stand up in front of a room and present the information. Your team will not grow beyond the ability of somebody in that team to present that information. And the power of duplication begins to kick in once you have someone else also doing presentations besides you. Right. And then number 3 is the ability to coach people, to mentor people, to care about people, to foster concern and compassion for those people. The ability that Kai just articulated so well of identifying leaders and helping them train and teach the same powers and principles of duplication that we have. Kai, I love you. I
love you too.
It's so good to see you. Are you in the circuit now? Or are you still hosting in Austin?
I am hosting. I love hosting. I told Marcel I love hosting, and so I'm just a refiller for LV Academy because I've been traveling so much that if I add the LV teaching, that would be too much. Yeah, but I am hosting, and we will have Scott Satterfield, which is good. So we are excited about that. So until you come back again.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And that's one last key I want to pass along to folks. The skills that you learn by serving in your local market are invaluable. And what we have seen is the people who host the best, who serve the best, who foster that kind of development in those local markets, not doing everything themselves, but making sure people have the tools and are equipped and empowered to pull off a really remarkable, there's that word again, exceptional event, are the ones who become really great presenters. And I can't wait until they kick you out of Austin and make you go on the road to start training. We so appreciate you, Kai, and love you. And there's announcements. Obviously, we're 7:44 Central Time, 8:45 Eastern. So we're going to go ahead and let Kai go. Thank you so much, sister, for making the time for serving our team. We won't go through the announcements except for one very significant announcement for Team Lifetree, and a young lady in our team Brave under Julie and Stephanie and Kaisman and David Meissner. Brandy Brewer just won our team physique challenge for the last 90 days. So congratulations, Brandy. $1,000 in her pocket. Cash money.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so Brandy, we're going to have you on the call in the future. I don't even see you on, so hopefully you'll see this on replay and get our mutual congratulations to you, sister. And we'll put you on the calendar for a future call. Julie, I'm going to kick it back over to you, sister, for any closing remarks. Kai, love you.
Thanks. I love you guys, and thank you. It's been an honor to be with you guys. And for the next time, okay? I love you, and take care. I'll be seeing you in Kansas.
Okay, thank you so much, Kai. We love you. We appreciate you. Okay, good night.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone so much for joining us tonight. We have our Team Lifetree opportunity presentation on Thursday at 8 p.m. And so hope to see you on that. But thank you so much for joining us. Please remind your teams about these calls on Monday nights. We love seeing you on here and being able to have some time together as our team. So God bless you all. Love you. Have a great rest of the week.
Good night. Thank you.
Love you guys. Blessings.